Well, I think there's been a lot of talk about a need for more collaboration in the industry because honestly, things are so confusing and complicated that it has been holding back progress. And the really good news is that there's been enough collaboration that we're finally moving and headed in the direction of more advanced measurement opportunities and new currencies. And I think the downside is that there are holes in the data marketplace and in the measurement ecosystem that make it really challenging for marketers to get a comprehensive view of where their dollars are going and for publishers to do the best job they can of maximizing the value of their inventory. And I think better collaboration around data access is going to be the key to moving beyond those current obstacles.
When you say data access, I think there's, particularly as it pertains to measurement, there's even sort of not a consensus on what measurement needs to be. Is it for buying? Is it for measuring campaigns? Is it for measuring audience? Can you talk a little bit about the debate between counting and measurement?
Sure. I mean, having lived on sort of both the buy and the sell sides, I know that if you don't have access to the same underlying data set to do planning and activation and measurement on whichever side of the transaction you're sitting, it leaves you an incomplete picture of what's going on, and it creates inherent inefficiency simply because you can't see what you can't see. And so, my plea is to have sort of collaborative counting as the fundamental layer of a new world of TV data. And what I mean by that is standardizing a method for access to set-top box data, to smart TV data from all the different providers in both cases, a linkage mechanism to attach that to digital and streaming data. And my understanding is the JIC that is in the works is sort of headed in that direction, which is awesome. But I don't think we get there without a very collaborative spirit from companies that historically have not wanted to provide access to their data. One of the opportunities that has arisen over the last couple of years with the evolution of clean rooms and other technologies that enable those data sets to be controlled on a per use case, per publisher, per provider basis, like the existence of those technologies now opens up the opportunity to do that in a way that's never been possible before. So fingers crossed we can have a rational conversation about counting.
One thing that you just talked about in particular was sort of linkage and being able to connect the various user and universal IDs that marketers want to use, particularly as third-party cookies go away. Are there any challenges that need to be solved for that to happen as well?
Well, I think there are two big challenges around linkage data sets. And one is obviously privacy and concerns that every publisher has about making their data connectable to other data sets. And the other side of that privacy thing is whatever legislation emerges around doing that. And my belief there is that ultimately has to turn into an opt-in, user-controlled process that applies across the data stack, top to bottom, right? So in the retreat, we had a conversation about which opt-in or opt-out of data usage on your smart TV and then on your app and then on the billing website for the same company is the one that applies to your particular viewing experience. And I think that's a question we have to solve generally, for example. The other big challenge that we have is about the business collaboration side of it. And to my point about counting, I think access to data has served as the secret sauce for people on both sides and the ability to combine that data. And I think the data access has to stop being the secret sauce, and the measurement and analytics and linkage on top of it are where the incremental value gets added in the targeting and the measurement process.